Why breakups hurt so much when you have an anxious attachment style. If you have been stuck in the breakup spiral, thinking about them 24/7, scrolling through old messages, checking in their social media, replaying every moment, you're not alone. If you have an anxious attachment style, it's even deeper than just a heartbreak. It's literally like a withdrawal. Let's talk about why your brain and your body reacts this way if you are going through a breakup and even months after a breakup still. Why? Because then you can stop blaming yourself and start understanding what's really going on inside of you so you can move on and through this. So let's jump to the 10 reasons of why. And then in another episode, I will give you actionable tools, what you can do to move through this better. But this is really the foundation. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Yula. I'm the Anxious to Secure coach, and welcome to the Anxious to Secure podcast. Disclaimer, I'm not a therapist or doctor. This content is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to diagnose, treat, or heal any mental health condition. If you're in an abusive relationship or dealing with severe mental health challenges, always seek professional advice. So let's jump right into the reason number one why it feels so painful if you're going through this. Number one is you don't know how to self-regulate. You've always co-regulated mainly in your relationships and in life. So co-regulation means you only felt calm when they were calm and when they were around you, when they held you or reassured you or texted you back fast, your nervous system could breathe. But alone, your heart races, your chest is tight, and your thoughts spiral out of control. It's like being a child without a grown up to comfort you. Because kids don't know how to self-soothe. They haven't learned this yet. So they really overly rely on their parents to co-regulate with them. And later on, they only learn the skill to self-soothe. And for an anxious attachment style, it's a little bit like this still. You kind of need someone else to do this with you. At least this is what you're telling yourself. You're overly relying on other people to do this for you. And because you've only focused yourself so much on this one person, on your partner to do this for you, kind of, abandoned yourself and your own emotional needs. And you never really tried to do this. So no wonder why you feel so helpless, like a helpless, hurt little kid. Maybe you've had a rough day, for example, and all you want is them to say, I'm here for you. You're safe. You're okay. I've got you. Everything will be okay. But now that person is gone. It's not just that you're having to deal with a normal thing that's happened in your life with work challenges, with your normal ups and downs, but now you're also going through the additional pain of a heartbreak. So it's, of course, you're feeling completely heartbroken, literally, and your body doesn't know how to calm down on its own. Reason number two why it feels even more painful, emotionally painful, going through a heartbreak, going through a breakup if you have an anxious attachment style is you relied on them to meet all of your emotional needs. So you didn't just love them, you needed them to feel loved and validated and safe and all of the other emotions on the spectrum and needs. So when they left now, it wasn't just a person gone. It felt like your whole emotional safety net disappeared and dropped underneath you. Like a cup that's knocked over and now it feels completely empty because they were the ones who filling your cup. Maybe you remembered when they say, I'm so proud of you. And they were just giving you the reassurance you needed that made you feel worthy whenever they were around. Now, without them, you're questioning everything. Was I ever enough? Did I do enough? Reason number three. You added deep meaning to every little thing they did or didn't do. So they gave you a compliment and you felt pretty and worthy after they did this because maybe words of affirmation was your love language. They went quiet for a while and you felt unlovable. Every action was proof of your value or lack of it. After a breakup, for example, you replay every text and gesture and micro moments, trying to find where you went wrong. You blaming yourself, convincing yourself the breakup means you're unworthy. And reason number 4 is you weren't just in love, but you were literally addicted to it. It was your survival strategy. The highs were so high, the loving texts and the inside jokes, and the feeling of being chosen. So your brain got hooked on these emotional hits, even if the relationship was messy. It feels like a withdrawal, like shaky and desperate, and you're craving it. And if you have an anxious attachment style, we often not in love with a person, but actually we're in survival state. You know, the butterflies we feel at the beginning of a relationship, it's our nervous system saying, warning, this is familiar from our past because there's some inconsistency here. We were raised on inconsistency. So this is not the feeling of being in love. This is actually a warning sign from your nervous system. And so then you got attached to your partner very fast before you actually knew who that person was. So how can this be love if you don't know that person yet? But still, you were telling yourself the story that you were in love with this person, not feeling how they made you feel. So now when you scrolling through old messages and rereading the I love yous, even though you know it hurts more than it helps, and then you're reinforcing this addictive pattern and this addiction loop, and you're not getting yourself out of it. It's like if you have an addiction to food or to alcohol, you know that looking at it and even smelling it and licking it and tasting it, and even have just one sip or one bite of chocolate or whatever your addiction is, makes it worse. 5, why breakups hit so much harder for an anxious attachment style is because you made them your whole emotional home. They were your comfort and safety. And safety is everything, right? So you shared your fears and your dreams and your bad days with them. Now they're gone. You feel homeless inside. So maybe you used to fall asleep with their goodnight text, or when you were in a long distance relationship, you fell asleep with them on their phone. And the phone was open and the call was on for hours and hours. And when you woke up, they were still there with you. And now you lie awake wondering how to find that comfort inside of you again. And become anxious attached makes you abandon ourselves for just too long. We don't know how to be with us now, how to create a life outside of our relationship. So we need to really become obsessed with ourselves and our life versus just being obsessed with that person, with this person who now left. So before I will continue with the next few steps, I want to remind you that there are so many free resources waiting for you in the attachment library that you can find in the show notes or below the YouTube video. You can find like the attachment style quiz or a quiz that helps you to tell if it's actually intuition or if it's anxiety, tools about worrying if you're an overthinker, and so many more cheat sheets and downloads and journaling prompts and so on. Plus, there are also ways to work with me, my mini courses or my monthly containers to get coaching from me. There's also the text and talk support if you prefer coaching through WhatsApp. You can cancel monthly, so absolutely no commitment at all. But it's really your chance to stop the spiral, stop reinforcing the old habits that only reinforce the beliefs that your partner will leave and that you're not capable of handling the emotion, and that makes you just chase breadcrumbs and decreases your self-worth. You will always think you will have to do something to earn love, to show up differently in your relationship if you don't work on these limiting beliefs in your subconscious mind and also learn to release your emotions. from your body. These are just a few things what I will help you do within my containers. It's not just attachment theory, it's also nervous system regulation and mix in with Gottman method. So communication is also part of what I teach, but this is one of the last steps. Anyway, if you're ready to no more chasing, but really creating security and self-worth from within, then get in contact with me, email me for more information, or jump on a free call with me, because I want to make sure you're the right fit for my programs. If you're rather more in need of therapy, for example, if you're really struggling with deep anxiety or mental health issues, are more stuck in the past and not able to create a transformation, then you might not be the right person. But we can check this on the call. And yeah, let's continue. Reason number 6 why your breakup feels so heavy if you have an anxious attachment style is because you romanticized them and pinned your healing on them. So you didn't just love them who they were, you loved the idea of who they could be. This is very typical as well. Maybe you're a highly romantic person. You held on to the hope that this time someone would finally choose you and stay. Maybe you have a little bit of a rescue syndrome. I'm trying to see who this person could be versus who they actually are right now. Letting go of them feels like letting go of a dream you've carried forever. And you are more in love with the idea of them rather than actually with the person. And you've always put them on a pedestal. So you replay words like, you're my person, you're my soulmate, there's no one out there like them. And even if their actions never really matched, still your fantasy is still playing up in your mind. Especially after a breakup, we only remember the good moments about this person and we forget all of the terrible things that they actually did or how they made us feel a lot of times. Reason number 7 why it hits so deep for you might be you're waiting for closure that might never come. This was something I did wrong as well in my past breakup. Actually, I've been waiting for forever, thinking, should I reach out or not? If this person would reject me, if this is what I actually need or not. In the end, I did reach out and this person kind of shut me down, but at least then I learned from this that you actually never need closure from the person. You need closure for yourself and you can give this to yourself. So you want maybe a last conversation, one last explanation. Your brain is trying to make sense of a sudden loss, or maybe you feel extremely guilty. But sometimes closure isn't just possible. Sometimes you just need to let go and forgive yourself, maybe forgive your past or forgive that person. And that leaves your nervous system stuck in confusion and pain otherwise if you always waiting, right? So you've read the breakup text dozens of times, or maybe you were even the one breaking up, who knows, hoping to find a hidden meaning or even a reason that makes sense of everything. How did you even get to this point? But this will keep you in this limbo state. You will never heal, move on, and go through this if you keep wondering, how do I get closure? It's never really about them, it's about yourself. Reason number 8 why a breakup is so extremely why it's so painful for someone who has an anxious attachment style is because you tell yourself painful stories that keep you stuck. So you tell yourself, they broke me, they broke my heart, I'm shattered, I'll never find someone like them. They were the one and only who could make me feel safe and reassured, and my complete future is destroyed and I will never be able to trust someone. Thoughts that feel true in that moment, but they are not true, even though your emotions are always valid and you want to validate yourself, but you don't want to reinforce these stories because these are the ones that actually add the emotional pain. And you want to challenge these because these are not facts. They are trauma-driven stories your nervous system uses to try to protect you by blaming them and trying to find a reason of what's going on. But they just keep you trapped in your pain. So when you see them happy without you, your mind screams, I wasn't enough and how dare they? even though that's not true. And you're going to tell yourself, how dare they move on already just because you see them once smiling in a picture or already acting like everything is okay, while you don't even know what's going on within themselves. 9, you lost your identity in your relationship. So you lost your sense of self. Very typical for someone who has an anxious attachment style. And this is probably not happening just in your last relationship, but your entire life. You've lost more pieces and pieces of who you actually are as a way to protect yourself, to people please, to fit in, to not getting rejected and abandoned. So you stay close to people, to be liked, and because that was safe for you. You stopped asking what you really wanted or needed in your relationship. And now without them, it feels like you don't even know who you are anymore, what you like, what kind of food, what kind of music. So you realize you've forgotten your favorite hobbies, what makes you happy. When do you feel an emotion? How to get this to yourself? And even what you want for your future. Where do you want to live? Like, what would be your ideal scenario? Because you always ask your partner what they want, what they desire, and you didn't mind that at all. But now, who are you truly? And the last one, number 10, you never learned how to stay with your own pain. Big emotions like feel unbearable, so you try to fix them by getting your partner to make them feel okay, getting comfort in physical closeness and emotional closeness. And you cling in air quotes, or run away even, or try to scroll on social media to forget the pain, or eat or don't eat, or overdrink and overshop, and avoid the emotions, avoid feeling them, or overthinking, trying this will give you the answer. But healing starts when you allow yourself to grieve the future possibilities you had with this person and the future life, and are able to sit in the discomfort of the emotions without acting on them, without double texting, without checking in on their social media, without adding meaning to the things. You want to text them, you want to reach out again, you want to rehash everything just one more time. Maybe this time it's different, but the actual power is if you just let yourself feel the emotions. You can cry, you can, scream into a pillow, but don't sabotage yourself by just reaching out to the person again and waiting for them to tell you everything is okay, and maybe to restart the relationship again just in hope they will make everything go better again. Because the answer is in you and not in them. So that's why breakups feel like the end of the world for you, perhaps, when you have an anxious attachment style. Your nervous system is fighting for survival, and your mind is replaying every moment, trying to find safety, trying to prove your beliefs right, that it wasn't safe with them, that they're the enemy. But deep down, you're telling yourself that you were not good enough, that you are not worthy, that you should have tried harder, been a different person to keep them around. And but knowing this, that's the first step of really breaking free. And this isn't about just getting over them in like one big sweep. This is about gently untangling the fantasy future your mind has clung to, letting yourself feel the grief without letting the pain run the show, learning to be there for yourself, allowing to feel the emotion in your body. You're not dramatic, you're not too much, you're not being too sensitive, you're not needy, you're healing from really deep attachment wounds. And that's why it feels so painful, because they're reopening with this breakup. An anxious attachment person has really learned that this partner, this person has been your everything. So now you need to learn to be your everything. You are the most important person for yourself. And when you are your everything, everyone will see this too, and you're gonna become more magnetic. But right now it's not about that. Right now it's about surviving, so eventually you can thrive again, and you get to rewire it yourself. You don't need them. You can also tell yourself, if not this person, then another one. If not now, then another time. What's meant to be will be, because you don't want to force yourself something. You want to trust the timing, and if it didn't work out, there was a reason for it. But often, if we think about our past relationships, we always think we did everything wrong and our partner was maybe the one and we messed it up and it feels so painful. But there's a reason why it didn't work out. And the more you can work on yourself by first feeling the emotions yourself and allowing yourself to feel it, the more you can move through it. As I said, in the next episode, I'll share more tools on moving through a breakup, because awareness of why it hurts is extremely crucial and it's like the foundation, and it's so much validating as well and healing. But you do also want to get actual tools to support you through this. So subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like this, or subscribe to the audio podcast, and let me know in the YouTube comments which ones of these you relate the most. And remember, change in your relationship starts with you, thought by thought, action by action, and episode by episode. And if you want to just connect with me and share your personal stories, I am here for you. You don't have to purchase my programs. I just want to be there no matter how for you. So email me at contactthemarriagecoach today@gmail.com. Add a dot in between each word, and lots of love. Yours, Yula. Bye bye.